let's go to relative colors, which I know we've briefly spoken about before on the pod. But it's like one of my favorite things ever. And like
Yeah.
when you use it, okay, when you're making a demo, it's awesome. I mean, it's also practical in projects, but like when I do a demo, instead of doing like an OKLCH value of, a bunch of different numbers and decimals, and I'm like, I know you can do lightness is, 0 to 1 or 100, depending on how you write it. And I know the hue is starting at 0 is like red and it goes around to like purple at the end. And so I can kind of predict like what a thing is, but it takes my brain processing to like look at each of those values and kind of wonder what it's going to be. But if I can always use a named color and then just, if I don't want the exact color, I can just use relative colors to say, okay, start with dark orchid, but I need it to be even darker. And then I also want it to be semi-transparent. So just using relative colors in a demo is so helpful because then, especially if you're using like color to see if something's working or not, then you'll know like, oh, okay, that's working, instead of trying to figure out what color it should be. I just adore relative colors for that, which I know is a very, very small use case, but even if you're working in a project, you can create those meaningful relationships by starting with like one base color. And instead of using like sass and darken function, which we used to use like way back in the day all the time, like you could just use relative colors and you can save it as its own variable. So you don't always have to write this like long string of things, but it just keeps that connection using just CSS, and you can see the math and you can see how it's related. I just absolutely adore it. Any thoughts on this?
I'm with you. This is just so useful. The other day, somebody was looking for a way to extract one channel of a color, and to be able to like change another color to have the same lightness as this color. And there's a way to do it using relative colors, basically grabbing like the C channel and setting the others to none. And what you get is a color with several empty channels, but you can mix that in with another color and the empty channels don't mix in, but the one that you keep does. So you could grab the chroma or you could grab the lightness and then mix that into another color.
Well,
yeah, and being
cool.
able to do these calcs on things, there's just so much you can do here. It's really nice.
Yeah, you can even use the hue in the maybe hue isn't a good thing, but maybe like if you're doing something in RGB, like display P3, if you're working in that, you can mix them. You can use the R value in the G channel or the B channel, and or just say I want a gray color at the lightness of the red channel, and just do RRR, and it'll work.
Yeah,
it's just super flexible.
Yeah. Eric in the chat is asking about what DevTools show. Do you want to inspect one of those colors? And
yeah, I think the whole background here is.
Will DevTools tell you like the RGB value or the? Yeah. Okay.
So it knows it starts from dark orchid and goes here. It, I guess, will give you whatever value you want. The computed value here. It's hard to copy, though. I guess you have to copy it here, not in that dialog.
I think there's a way to get it to show different colors there, right? But I don't know.
I'm going to refresh there.
How you do that.
Here we go. There we go. Well, I can see both of those. Don't go away.
So it's showing you like how you got to a color, or
why does it go away when I click on the second one?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It gives me the actual
Shows you like
calculations.
the steps that it's going through to like resolve the calculations and get to a
Yeah.
RGB color. Yeah, that's very nice.
I think in Firefox that you have like an arrow tool that will actually take you to where it originally, like if I'm not even gonna open it now, but yeah, check out Firefox's inspector because it also does some cool stuff. Yeah, I adore that. And so like if you're working with the color, the relative colors too, and like you're working with a color palette and you do only want to change one channel, like I find that if you use something like a LCH, you can change just like the lightness of something and have it still related to like the brand colors as close as possible. It might not actually be what you want because you'll see that some things are maybe a little more muddy and you still need to adjust the chroma perhaps, but that hue will always be linked, which is just a nice thing to be able to change something for maybe a hover color or whatnot. So that is relative colors. You can also produce an entire color palette based off of one color with a bunch of different adjustments. But I kind of like choosing all those myself. But for a demo, it works well. All right, I have.
If you're doing any sort of like user or theme picker sort of stuff, letting people choose a color and then auto generating a theme from it is pretty cool.
That's right.